Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is 5 books that really inspired me. The title might suggest that it's going to be like these 5 books that came into my life and made me this person. I just wanted to really quickly explain what I mean by inspire, because it's kind of one of those words that can mean so many things yet the same exact thing in all situations. When I say inspire, I kind of mean they made me think about things in a way that I hadn't thought about them before. Some of them literally inspired me to do things and to change the way I live. I read books and I take in all this knowledge and I try to put it into my life in some places, and these are just 5 books that helped me to do so. I could have talked about 1,000 books, but I thought I'd start with 5 just so I don't freak you out. So let's get started. Book number 1 is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I haven't actually got the physical version of the book because I found this book as the first book that I listened to when I first got Audible, and it's just so amazing to listen to as opposed to reading it. My mum says that it's a really good read as well, so go ahead and read it, but I enjoyed listening to Jen actually telling me her advice, and it just felt so much more real. But this book is amazing. I feel like I can't do it justice by just sitting here and talking about it. It inspired me in the sense that it made me think about my life as something that is worth changing for the better. It just made me think about how awesome I am in every way and inspired me to do things like sit here and talk to you all today. She tells stories of her own experiences. I've listened to it already 3 times, so that's not rare with this book. People listen to it again and again, and I can fully understand why. Second book is Am I Normal Yet by Holly Borton. I am a teen fiction lover and I read all these things like romances and all that kind of stuff. Am I Normal Yet is a book about a girl called Evie who, I'm just going to read the blurb. All Evie wants is to be normal, and now that she's almost off her meds and at a new college where no one knows her as the girl who went nuts, there's only one thing left to tick off her list. But relationships can mess with anyone's head, something Evie's new friends Amber and Lottie know only too well. The trouble is, if Evie won't tell them her secrets, how can they stop her making a huge mistake? You basically see this girl who has OCD go through this massive change in her life, and it's all about how she copes with it and feeling better with mental health, and then all of a sudden something as simple as a guy can come around and make that progress just disappear in an instant. And it's just such a powerful book. That is so important, this book, because it's got a really positive message in the end. So I would recommend reading this. And actually when I read it, I didn't know that much about mental health, so this helped me a lot to kind of realise, because I think a lot of people think that it's not real, and this book is just a really good way of sort of educating people, and it's just really good. It's inspired me to see my own mental health as a really important factor in my life, and to actually start looking after myself in ways that I hadn't really ever thought about before. My next recommendation is All That She Can See by Cassie Hope Fletcher. This is a book that I read really recently. I am excited about it. Kind of get to the end and you're like, what? How did we get here? It's so awesome. It's basically about this girl who realises that she has this gift where she can make people feel happier through her baking, and it's so much more complicated than that, because she actually is able to see all of our bad feelings like depression, sadness, anger, regret are actual little monsters or big monsters that we kind of have following us around. And she realises that when she bakes cakes and puts good feelings into them, she can actually get rid of those monsters and reduce them and help people to overcome these issues. And it's just so good. And she goes around the UK putting together all these different recipes and things and setting up little bakeries and places and helping people, until she meets a guy who can also see these little monsters, except he can see really good emotions like happiness and pride and joy and all those kind of things, and it's just so interesting, and it escalates. It inspired me through the fact that this person, this character, I was able to relate to in an instant, because something that I really struggle with is how much I care about people and how much I care about things, and I think if I was in her situation I would do the exact same thing. I would dedicate myself to solving other people's problems. I think that there is an amazing message deep in there. My fourth book that really inspired me is How to Be a Boss by Lily Singh. This is one of my all-time favourite self-development books. It's just so good. There's so many little anecdotes and so many, it's so hilarious in every way. I listen to it because like I do that, because like listening to books is cool. She covers everything. I think this is where I kind of got like, I was like just amazed at how much she actually covers in the book. Self-love and self-worth and all these things that we have that we struggle with, and she goes over them, she turns them into something to laugh about, and she just has a really great way of looking at life. And I love her channel and I love her book, and it inspired me to actually start doing YouTube, and it made me realise that everyone is in the exact same boat, which is a key thing that you need to learn quickly. And when you see how successful she is and you realise that you can relate to her, that is just helpful. So yes, the fifth book that inspired me is If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. I think, you know, there's only one word to describe this book, and that is important. But this book is an inspiration in itself, because if you haven't seen this or read this yet, then what are you doing? Amanda Hardy is the new girl at school. Like everyone else, all she wants is to make friends and fit in. But Amanda is holding back, even from Grant, the guy she's falling in love with. Amanda has a secret. At her old school, she used to be called Andrew, and secrets always have a way of getting out. It's a book about loving yourself and being loved for who you really are. It was just so heartbreaking. I cried at every page turn. And it wasn't always like crying because of how horrible it was, but crying because of how lovely some things were. And I do feel as though this book summed it up. It's got a happy ending. That's something that made me inspired to kind of just share this book with anyone who asks, oh, have you got any book recommendation? I think if everyone read this book, we'd have a lot less problem. Meredith Russo, she doesn't hold back. She goes into detail and she lets you know that this is a real thing and that this is what happens, and it's just, it warmed my heart in so many ways, and that is why it inspired me, because it just made me very happy. So I thought I'd put it on this list, and hopefully you'll go and check it out. So to conclude, I just wanted to say, I know that this is a really random list of books and there are just so many more that I could have put on it, but I thought I'd hold back for now because I want to make a load more videos like this, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you go away and do some research on some of these books. If you liked this video, like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment, tell me what you thought of it, and do me a favour and go and check out my last video on how to practice self-love. Love you as always, and I will see you in the next video.